King Charles, according to royal commentary now circulating online, has reportedly reached his breaking point with Camilla, and the accounts claim he is no longer hiding it. The story alleges he has quietly taken the influence Camilla spent 30 years building and begun handing it to Catherine, the daughter-in-law he is said to trust more than anyone. And the most stunning part, these accounts claim, is that Camilla allegedly had no warning it was coming. When the truth reportedly surfaced, the story goes, she went straight to her husband with a single bold demand so unexpected that it allegedly stopped the royal family cold. So what did she ask for, and what did Charles reportedly say back? Stay with me. To understand the fury behind it, the accounts say, you have to go back decades, long before any crown changed hands. According to these long circulating claims, during the affair years at Charles's country estate, staff were reportedly given instructions that had nothing to do with serving a future king, allegedly treating Camilla as the lady of the house, while Diana was still his wife. The story claims security routines were quietly bent, beds reportedly disturbed to suggest she'd slept elsewhere, and protection officers allegedly phoning ahead so the house could be darkened before his car arrived unseen. He was reportedly nicknamed by those who knew the Prince of Darkness. But why, the accounts ask, would a future king reportedly run an operation this elaborate? The answer, the story claims, was that he had supposedly already decided losing Camilla again was unthinkable. According to these accounts, the palace had reportedly separated the pair years earlier, with Camilla deemed unacceptable and the story claiming Charles was at sea and powerless. During that separation, the accounts allege he was reportedly miserable, and when he returned to find her gone, the story claims he never fully accepted it, not through his marriage to Diana, not in the years after, and Diana, the accounts say, reportedly knew the affair had resumed and had known a long time. Then came an evening near Richmond, the story claims, when she allegedly noticed Charles and Camilla had both slipped from the room, and guests reportedly stepped into her path, urging her not to go downstairs, but she went anyway. So what did she reportedly find at the bottom of those stairs? According to these accounts, Diana allegedly found the pair tucked into a corner, and something reportedly broke open in her, with the story claiming she pulled Camilla away, only for Camilla to allegedly meet her gaze with a slow, unbothered look. Charles, the accounts say, reportedly stepped in, and Camilla allegedly asked to speak to Diana alone. The story claims Diana, fighting back tears, told her she knew exactly what was happening and refused to be treated like a fool, and that Camilla reportedly denied nothing. Diana, the accounts note, reportedly recorded the confrontation on tapes later released after her death in 1997, and the public reportedly turned on Camilla with a rage that lasted decades. Charles, the story claims, watched it all unfold and still didn't stop. And even when his sons reportedly asked him not to marry her in 2005, the accounts say he married her anyway, which is precisely why the story argues what allegedly came next cuts so deep. According to these accounts, in January 2023, Prince Harry reportedly accused Camilla on national television of leaking private family conversations to the press to rebuild her image, calling her, in his telling, dangerous, and writing in his memoir that she had reportedly sacrificed him for her own public standing. Now feel it, the story urges, from Charles's position, a man who had reportedly given up his first marriage, public goodwill, and his son's blessing for this woman, now watching her named on American television as the alleged source of leaks. That, the accounts argue, wasn't just a betrayal of Harry, but of everything Charles had paid. But the damage, the story claims, didn't stop at what was said publicly. What was reportedly building behind closed doors? According to these accounts, Charles had reportedly staked his reign on modernizing the monarchy, proving it could be lean and accountable. And Camilla, the story claims, was allegedly becoming an obstacle rather than a partner. While Charles was reportedly in cancer treatment, the accounts allege Camilla was said to be cancelling his engagements without his knowledge, commitments reportedly pulled back with no explanation, the kind of silence that, the story argues, can make a king look unable to control his own household. And worse, the accounts claim she was allegedly inserting herself into financial decisions outside her remit, moves that, if visible, the story argues, would reportedly contradict everything Charles had staked his reputation on. So what did Charles reportedly do? According to these accounts, Charles reportedly confronted her directly, telling her she'd crossed a line. But Camilla, the story claims, didn't flinch, allegedly holding his gaze with a look that said she had paid for her position with 30 years and would not be managed. And that, the accounts argue, was the moment Charles reportedly realized she was collecting a debt he hadn't agreed to owe, and that something had to change. He reportedly already had his attention on someone else, the story claims, someone the public loved with a rawness he hadn't seen since Diana. That person, the accounts say, was Catherine. But what had she reportedly been doing while the Sussexes dominated the headlines? According to these accounts, Catherine had reportedly been working quietly, launching an early childhood initiative, sitting with researchers and officials, and pushing serious policy backed by science. Politicians, the story claims, reportedly started listening, and Charles reportedly took notice. A 2025 survey, the accounts note, would later put her approval near 74%, a number, the story claims, Camilla reportedly never came close to in 30 years. Then January 2024 arrived, the accounts say, and reportedly tore everything apart. Within hours, the story claims, the palace announced Charles's cancer diagnosis and Catherine's major surgery, and the senior working family reportedly collapsed at once, leaving Camilla, for nearly 3 months, the most visible royal in Britain. So why, the accounts ask, did the world barely notice? According to these accounts, the public was reportedly consumed by Catherine's absence, with a viral hashtag reportedly exploding as conspiracy theories multiplied. Then, the story claims, in March 2024, Catherine released a video disclosing her own cancer diagnosis, reportedly watched millions of times within a day, with flowers said to appear outside the palace unprompted. And within 48 hours, the accounts allege Camilla was invisible again, 3 months of leading the institution reportedly wiped out in a single news cycle. Multiple outlets, the story claims, reportedly compared the public reaction to 1997, the most loaded comparison anyone can make about this family. Charles, the accounts argue, had reportedly been inside the machine that failed Diana and now watched the public embrace Catherine the same way. So what did he reportedly decide? According to these accounts, Charles reportedly concluded that Catherine could connect with the public in a way Camilla never had, handling crisis with dignity, doing real policy work, and making people feel she cared. That combination, the story claims, was reportedly what the monarchy needed to survive. And so the accounts allege he moved to act, with decisions that once went through Camilla's office reportedly going elsewhere. What she didn't yet realize, the story claims, was that it was reportedly already finalized. By spring 2025, the accounts say, outlets were reportedly reporting a systematic transfer of influence away from Camilla and toward Catherine. And the part that reportedly cut deepest, the story claims, was the patronages. Why did those matter so much? According to these accounts, several of Camilla's most significant patronages were allegedly reassigned to Catherine. Projects, the story claims, Camilla had reportedly built over 20 years to rebuild a public identity shattered after 1997. Alongside that, the accounts allege, Catherine was reportedly brought into decision-making once reserved for Charles and Camilla, reportedly granted expanded authority as a counsellor-of-state, with the story claiming she could receive ambassadors and preside over certain council meetings, powers it says a Princess of Wales had never traditionally held. Charles, the accounts argue, wasn't passively allowing her rise but reportedly engineering it. And the crucial detail, the story claims, was that by the time outsiders could report it, it was reportedly already done. The legislation reportedly passed, giving it the force of law. So what move did Camilla reportedly have left? According to these accounts, Camilla reportedly went straight to Charles and demanded a written guarantee, something with legal weight, the story claims, protecting her rank, her remaining patronages, and her status against any further transfer of power. But there was a fourth layer, the accounts argue, nobody should miss. With Charles in his 70s and reportedly battling cancer, the story claims, Camilla was allegedly bracing for a future under King William, who, by these accounts, had reportedly opposed the marriage from the start. She had reportedly been burned once by a verbal understanding, the story claims, referring to the 2005 agreement that she would be princess consort. This time, the accounts allege, she wanted it in the rulebook. So what did Charles reportedly say? According to these accounts, Charles reportedly looked her in the eye and said no. The story claims Camilla's expression changed completely, that she reportedly opened her mouth and nothing came out, and that Charles told her it was done before walking out. She reportedly stood there alone, the accounts allege, flushed not with anger, but with something the story claims hadn't touched her in 30 years, fear, and a first taste of shame. Charles, the accounts argue, had reportedly made his calculation and committed to it. Done, the story claims, letting his heart drive decisions as it had for decades. Protecting Catherine's position by this telling had reportedly become the same as protecting the monarchy's survival, whatever it cost him. And of course, it's worth remembering that much of this remains reports, claims, and interpretation rather than confirmed fact, and the palace rarely comments on private family matters at all. If this story gripped you, don't miss our breakdown of how William reportedly cut off Camilla's family funds after her ex-husband's bombshell reappearance. It's waiting for you on your screen right now. This is Royal Pulse, where whispers around the crown come to light.